make sure I give you a chance, and hopefully, as an aside, I just want to comment. Every time I hear Nkenge talk, it sounds to me like there are a lot of opportunities for what Nkenge's doing and the School of Education, as well as CCSJ. It just seems like there's some opportunities there for you in that regard.
What is CCSJ, Frank?
The Center for Community Service and Social Justice, okay, which is Milton's responsibility. It's the successor to Loyola Students for Social Action, which I started in 1965 at Loyola University.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Sorry, go ahead, Frank.
Do you have any question? Do you have a question, a follow-up or anything you want to ask?
Yeah, yes to the connection, definitely, Nkenge. Let's talk offline, not only for students, community engagement opportunities, so undergraduate, but also for our staff, all of our pro staff to get to know you and get to know your work. I'm struck by over and over this notion of once they see the love, right? And that kind of helps families and individuals almost really take full advantage and full, opportunity and seize the moment of the wraparound support. And the theologian in me is kind of thinking of, how that love is shown as an unconditional manifestation of care and rooted in sort of family values and family care. So I'm struck by that. There's no question there. It's just the theologian in me is moved by the generosity. That's another word that I would.
Is he only frozen?
Provide.
Oh, you were frozen. Generosity was the last word. But you're back.
I'm back now. Okay. The generosity of care and attention, or to use the innovation works value, the generosity of the accompaniment that you provide. And it's through that generosity of unconditional care and love and attention, and really rooted within the context of the family, that it's a welcoming opportunity for the family, and it's that bridge that unites them to the work. So there's no question in there. I'm just struck by your generosity, which is extremely Ignatian. Generosity is extremely Ignatian.
Absolutely. And I realize that it's not something that, I won't say that it comes easy. And so when I first came to Innovation Works, I don't know if Frank has shared this, I wanted to open 4 locations in Baltimore City. I wanted to be North, East, South, and West. And what I learned is that takes a lot of internal work. Like, it is not just about coming and showing up. Like, you have to, after you're cursed out about 6 times a day from other people's problems, like, we're talking about people that are living in really traumatic situations, right? You really have to remove yourself. Like, it is a lot of introspective analysis of myself, removing my biases, praying a lot, meditating in the middle of, after you just ask somebody, can you please not block the fire lane? And that goes from 0 to 100, right? And so I came back to Frank and said to him, nah, I don't want to open any more childcare centers in Baltimore City. This is it. And it wasn't that I don't want to continue to grow. This is where the licensing model is coming in, because it needs to be a leader that's empowered in this kind of way in order to be able to replicate this type of model. It's not opening multiple locations, because I can't be at all of them. And I realize that and so it has not been, it's not just like, it has not been a walk in the park to be able to come in these kind of environments. Even, and I got to see like how blessed I was to grow up in Baltimore City in one of the poorest areas and still have the type of love that I experienced. So I don't know what was going on outside of my household, but I was a daddy's girl, and I felt the love. And so I didn't realize how much of a gift that really is, to be able to experience that. And a lot of people don't get that opportunity. So for us, this is the place that the children are going to get it every single day, because it's something that will resonate with you forever. Like it will be here forever. And there's tons of research. I mean, my degree is in early childhood education and child psychology. So there's tons of research that talks about how we develop these children. Like we instill these values by our actions and emitting this type of love. So that this isn't just something I'm guessing about. Like this is how their brains are reshaped and rewired to be able to be productive citizens. So that, and I'm going to get off my soapbox, but I do have to plug this last piece. So for me, this is how I see, when I see young boys that can pull the trigger, right? That to me is bad early childhood experiences, because a nurtured brain cannot do that. They don't have the capacity to do that. And so this is why childcare is so critical for me and my staff, and just here at Learning How as a whole, is because we understand that this is one of the solutions to Baltimore's challenges. It's not just childcare. I always say we're not babysitting. This is not just daycare. So this is one of the solutions in nurtured environments. Adults cannot do harmful things. They just can't.
I'm really glad you landed
Absolutely.
back there, Nkenge, because the writer in me, the narrator in me, was sort of looking for a storyline here, and I was fortunate enough to be involved in those first Boost programs where you were pitching for your child care center. I think you were trying to buy another building or something. I forget what it was, but it was definitely child care, and it was about a physical locations. There was a special child care. You were obviously serving a special population with a lot of needs. But what you've been talking about with us goes so much beyond childcare and school learning environments. When I look at your website, what you say is that you're a state-of-the-art academic learning facility that offers hands-on experience through purposeful play. What we're talking about here goes way beyond hands-on learning with purposeful play. I mean, you're talking